Get excited, my friends. Get excited. So, if you're seeing this video, let it be confirmation. Viewer discretion is advised. Use your discernment, as always, when watching these videos. But the way that this works, me making a video, you finding it, the resonance happening, the confirmation happening, is typically because God works in mysterious ways and God shows you things that you need to see and hear, and you can recognize the voice of God through building relationship with God, with your intuition, with those subtle emotional, energetic, spiritual patterns, if that makes sense. So I know that I'm over here saying, I have an important message for you, I'm so excited, this is for you, but you're the one who needs to confirm that. Take it to God. Okay, so that's my disclaimer. And if this is for you, I'm gonna just fully unleash and fully give you what I am so excited to give you, which is my message, my confirmation for you, if this is for you. Okay, you are on a path to fulfilling your dreams. You are working on goals. You are dreaming. You are going towards creating and receiving what you want and what you're guided towards. Okay, so the main thing that I want to say, the main encouragement that I want to give is to keep your faith. I swear to God, keep your faith. If you're watching this, either you're in a space where you're kind of freshly coming out of like doubt, and maybe you're in the middle of a setback or a blockage or anxiety or something that's covering you and creating kind of a wall or a screen between your hope and your feeling of fulfillment and faith from having the thing or trusting it. I don't know if those words made sense. But this is just a reminder to have faith. Why? Why have faith? Why am I reminding you this? Why am I telling you? Why did I introduce this with get excited? Because when you are obedient and you keep your faith, despite the smoke screens that your ego or the devil or negative energy or whatever you want to call it puts up between you and your knowing and your faith and what you can see in front of you, because sometimes the inner and outer worlds don't reflect exactly, but the keys to the kingdom of heaven are within, as they say. So you have to have faith, even when you can't see, even through the moments where that anxiety, that ego, the devil, whatever it is for you, comes and gets in the way. That's why you should get excited, because when you keep the faith through those moments, that's exactly what you're supposed to do to get to the thing, to get to the goal. And what happens then is you're rewarded tenfold, 100,000 millionfold. You're rewarded in ways that you could have never predicted. You didn't expect, but you chose to act through your intuition, through God's instruction. You did what your soul was called and pulled to do. And you did it even though you felt anxious or insecure, or your ego flared up and convinced you to give up, or that it's not worth it, or that your dreams are not going to come true. But you did the thing. And if you're on the fence about taking action on this specific thing that you have felt pulled towards, I'm telling you, this is your confirmation that, yeah, you're supposed to do that thing. You're supposed to follow what your soul pulls you towards. And you can only know what I'm talking about if you know what the imprint of your soul feels and looks like. And if you're here, you probably do. You are probably not a stranger to intuitive pulls. But you're going to be so blessed and so rewarded just for taking that next step. It might not be the instant fulfillment of the dreams and the things that you have set your sights on and that you long for the most, but you're going to get rewarded along the way for staying on the path that God called you to. And I'm speaking from direct experience. I want to tell you a personal story to maybe give you some encouragement. So right now, I'm using my TheraTappers. What are these? These are one of my favorite psychosomatic emotional support regulation tools. My therapist gifted this to me when I left for my trip. I'm on a massive road trip right now, following my soul's pull with no plan other than just I had dreams, I had visions, I had unfathomably, immeasurably strong pulls towards specific locations, and I'm literally going there right now on faith. And these tappers are used for EMDR. I forget what EMDR stands for. Something meridian something response or something. I forget. But basically what it does is there's these two little tappers. I have them under each leg right now. And one vibrates and the other vibrates, and one vibrates and the other vibrates. And it's meant to stimulate binaural firing to balance the hemispheres of the brain and to integrate especially, trauma and emotions with the present moment. And it helps people, whether you're a survivor of some trauma or just a human being, it helps to bring cohesion and a cohesive narrative into the present moment. So it really helps for me, it helps to integrate my emotions and come in control again of my narrative and to keep my faith. Because when we go and move through life and we go through trials, our faith gets shaken, it gets tested. And so using these tappers helps me to stay committed to my faith, even when my emotions are doing everything that they can to try to pull me out of my faith. And I woke up today feeling anxious. I woke up today with all of these thoughts and old impressions and things kind of running in my mind. And I know that none of them are true. They are echoes of past trauma. So I was journaling about it, I was writing about it, I was praying, and I was saying just like, I was writing as if I was God talking to me, giving me instructions, telling me what to do. And what came out was, keep your faith. You continuing to take action in the direction of your soul right now and listening to your intuition in the face of this foggy, emotional, disorienting anxiety is your guarantee that you will get even closer to your thing and you will be rewarded. So keep having faith, keep trusting, even when you can't see it, and you will be rewarded. And you know what happened? My intuition is a channel for God to speak through. I see intuition, pure intuition, and God as inseparable. My intuition is what I lead my life off of. And it's not always easy, it's not always clear, but it is always rewarding. And there are stretches of time, months or years even, where the distance between me and the vision, the promise, the vision is foggy or unclear. But as I get closer to it and I'm walking the right way towards it, I get rewarded. I get confirmed. I see videos like the one that I'm sharing with you now that tell me exactly what I need to hear because I'm in alignment. You can walk to your destination in alignment, on course, or you can take all of these, side routes and get distracted and whatever. But alignment is one way, and not aligned is another way. And as long as you're not aligned, you're going to have these blockages come up and these disappointments or losses or things just happen until you remember that I need to actually veer back on course. And I'm not at all saying that just because something terrible happens in your life means you're out of alignment. That is not, I do not want to make that general statement. That's not true. Because life is death, life is loss, life is pain. That's part of it. It's part of life. But I think what I'm trying to say is our relationship with our path is what determines our sense of alignment. You can have one person born in under the worst hand, in the worst of circumstances, and what they make out of it, how they alchemize their emotions, how they work with their psyche, how they relate to their circumstances and their past, how they process, how they integrate it. That primarily is what determines how aligned or unaligned your soul, your spirit feels. And as someone who went through systemic abuse, I went through it, and I found ways to stay in alignment with my spirit when my outside world gave me messaging from every angle imaginable as to why I should give up, why I'm not worthy, why I should doubt myself, why I'm bad, whatever. Abuse, you know how it is. Maybe. But that's my point here, is alignment is about your relationship with the path, not about what's happening outside. Because that's life. Life happens outside. We can't control that. We can only control our relationship with it. And I think about biblical stories about people who were, I forget his name. I'm not good at remembering details of historical stories like this, but who is that guy from the Bible who was imprisoned and like outcast by his brothers, but then he literally became a king? You know what I mean? And he prayed, he kept faith, he thanked God every day. He didn't become his environment. He didn't become his circumstances. He didn't become the fears and the things that were projected, cast onto him. That's what alignment is. Alignment is staying with God. Alignment is staying in line with God, no matter what's on the outside. So I had a moment today where these forces, these past phantoms, my own trauma, my own anxieties, well, they're not mine, but the things that were projected onto me that I internalized were coming up again. And I said, no, you are not God. You are not God. You are not my way forward. I know my faith is having me walk in a different direction, in one that trusts the very things that you, the bad voices, are trying to scare me away from believing, okay? So I wrote and I reinforced my faith, and the emotions have lifted significantly. One of the things that my intuition told me, specifically, I'm going to give you a specific example, was to extend my stay for another week where I'm staying right now. As you know, probably by this point, if you follow me and you watch my videos, I'm on a cross-country road trip following my soul's pull. I'm on the move. I'm going towards the thing. But something really strong for the last day or two was telling me stay put. So I thought, okay, I'm going to call the front desk and see what the rates will be, because this is kind of an expensive hotel, but I was able to get a good rate through a third party and then through a really nice front desk person that I had to book my first 4 nights here. And so I called this morning, and what happened was I was able to get more time than I wanted. But that gave me all the time that I wanted. So I was originally thinking I'm going to leave probably around Friday, but definitely I want to leave by the weekend. But what I learned was that they had room, they had openness on their schedule for me to leave on Saturday. And I was like, that's fantastic. I was going to want to transition on the weekend anyway, but they're all booked out on Sunday because they have a big group coming in. So it worked out perfectly with the timing. And then she told me, I'm going to give you the rate for your entire stay from when you first got here to when you're checking out next week for this even more reduced price. And I'm like, oh my God, my mind is blown, because I'm in a boutique hotel right now. And the price to stay here on the weekend is more than double the current rate that I have it for every day. And I'm paying a lot of attention to prices for hotels because this is basically, my rent is I'm renting out hotel rooms for this time being until I get where I'm supposed to be. And then I don't know what's going to happen next. Either I'll live in an actual room, or I'll have a house, or I'll have my RV. I'll go back and drive it and find somewhere longer term to stay. And then even then, there's a lot of unknowns and not knowing logistics of things. But what I'm saying is, when you follow your faith and you lean on your faith, you have come to this point. You've been through so much. You've achieved so much. You have cut through so much BS and won against so much spiritual warfare, to the point where, if you're like me and you resonate with this so far, you probably know that even when you feel terrible, even when you feel anxious, even when your emotions don't believe it, your faith is still trustworthy. And it just has become stronger and stronger and stronger over time, that even when you feel like life is unsteady, your faith is there to hold you. And that's kind of the place that I've gotten to. And I still need to, work it out and journal and use my tappers to reinforce my faith when I'm going through the dark moments. You know what I mean? Sometimes when you're on a walk, the sun gets covered by a cloud and it gets shady. So your sight is not the same. But the thing is, it's like, that the path is right in front of you and you can still see. It's just darker. So you keep on going, but it doesn't mean the sun disappeared. It means it's behind a cloud right now. Even if the clouds are overcast for days or weeks or whatever, the sun is there. And that's kind of what faith is like. Because every day since we've been born, we've been going to sleep and waking up to a sun every day. The sun is not going anywhere. Yeah, the smog, the toxins, the pollution, they distort the sun, but the sun is there. And it's going to be there for, I don't know how many more years, millions, billions. I don't know how when the sun's life cycle is going to die. But by that point, we're going to be long dead. And our souls, the energy cannot be created or destroyed. We're just going to be recycled, whatever. But right now, for our lives, for as long as we need to be concerned, the sun is there. You know what I mean? And faith works the same way. It works the same way. It's like a sun. And when we go through cloudy moments in our lives and we trust that the sun is there and we keep planting the seeds because we know the sun's going to come out on a certain day, a certain season, and it's going to give life to those seeds that we planted, then we're going to get fruit. We are going to get fruit, okay? So trust your intuition. And that was my little story today. I woke up and for a couple hours I was feeling really just unsettled, and I worked it out, and I got clear on where it was coming from, and I kind of settled my mind, and I have kind of a plan for myself, and was able to work out my these anxieties that were coming into my mind, and messing with my emotions, and I was just so surprised that I'm here at this really nice hotel. I mean, look at this headboard and this mod table and this mod couch. It's nice in here. Let me show you this lamp as well. It's very, very heavy. Oh, I can't show you. It's tied, but it looks like a jellyfish. It's cool. It's great. And this is the same price for like other low quality, like 2-star hotels that I've stayed at. But it's mine, and I have it, and it feels like a gift. It feels like a reward. And I'm not saying this to like rub it in your face or brag, which is always what I'm afraid, that there's this voice in my head that says, be modest or whatever. So I don't want to, boast or anything. But I'm giving this example because I am just like you in the sense that I have anxieties, I have fears, I come up against limiting beliefs regularly, but my faith and my dreams, they're pointed in a direction that my soul can't deny. And I've chosen to walk the path of trusting those things as real. And so during the moments or the seasons, whether it's an hour or a year in my life where the resistance is more, when I move through that with faith, I'm like, it's like an instant reward. And I'm not chasing a reward. I'm chasing God. I'm following God because God is good. God is the good thing. It's the goodest. It's the best. God's the best. He's the best. And God will protect you. God will look out for you. God will have you covered. God, I think, it's interesting because as human beings, we kind of have these two different levels or layers of our existence. We have our ego and our more impulsive, animalistic self that's wired to preserve our life and protect our lives and protect ourselves and stay comfortable. And then we have the reality that we're capable of, experiencing transcendent reality. And I think animals experience transcendence as well, non-human animals. I have no doubt that animals kind of regularly live in a state of trance or transcendence. I think that they don't have egos getting in the way of their nature and their glory in the same way that humans do. I think the ego and ego inflation and, emotional injuries and trauma are, often trap people more visibly than I think like the animal kingdom kind of gets subject to. I don't know if those words make sense, but it's like spirituality and transcendence and God and trust and faith and the ego and fear and limiting beliefs or whatever. I mean, they're not separate at all. They need to be integrated. And it's kind of like a circuit. It's a cycle. One can't exist without the other. And one is not right or wrong. They both exist. They're both real. It's just, again, alignment, as I've been saying, is about our relationship in the middle of the whole. It's about our relationship, our perspective, our sight, our overview of what's happening. And that is what keeps me grounded in this crazy, uncertain reality. I feel like I've said everything I needed to say because my mind is just kind of going blank now, and that's what happens when I empty it out in a video. Is there anything else that I need to say? Ultimately, trust your intuition, keep your faith, and you're going to get rewarded. But follow God, follow the intuition, follow the faith, follow the knowing, and follow, if you've had any experiences in your life where you have done maybe the scary thing that turned out to be the right thing, and you felt a confidence boost, you felt validated, you felt, oh wow, like I really can do this. If you've had any experiences like that in your life, I want you to remember them and call back upon them and take that as proof that it's safe for you to trust your faith. And I'm not saying override the part of you that is digging your heels into the sand, because I'm not. This little machine right here is helping me integrate the part of myself that's digging my heels into the sand. It's very real. And EMDR and a good somatic therapist are some tools, some relationships that are here in this world to help us integrate, our egos. And it's not bad. It's not bad at all to have resistance. It's good. It means you're human. It means that, there are tools that you have to learn or choose from in order to, integrate more. But I'm just sending you so much love wherever you are in the process. Whether you need to spend a day doing nothing and just be with yourself and feel your feelings and cry, whatever it is, or if you're feeling inspired and ready to go take on the world and take a leap of faith and do something terrifying that you know in your soul, in your heart, is the right thing to do. Wherever you are, doesn't matter. It's all about the integration and trusting. Trust. So I'm here to remind you, wherever you are in that cycle, I am sending you love and support. I see you. I know what it's like. I can't speak for you and your specific experiences, but I am you in a sense. I mirror some of these things. So anyway, that's what I got. If you want to work with me personally, I do offer psychic, intuitive, tarot or non-tarot readings. I'm also, if you're watching this before June 16th, I'm hosting a workshop online called Rocky Transitions. Check the information for that in the description. It is an online event space designed to hold space for us while we are processing our identity shifts and kind of the things I've been talking about while we're in the midst of change. And then if you're watching this before June 30th, I have another event I'm hosting then. If you go to my Eventbrite, which I'll just link in the description, and then you can find my events through there. I have another event that's called Gaslit to Guided, which is all about some of the same things I'm talking about in this video, which is trusting your intuition, recovering from anxiety, from fear, from self-doubt that was projected onto you, implanted into you, especially if you were emotionally abused or manipulated or gaslit. That event will hold space for you to learn new tools, to cultivate your literal psychic and intuitive abilities, to practice them, to grow your self-trust, because for me, cultivating my intuition and psychic abilities has been probably one of the top tools that's helped me feel confident and at ease and secure again, even when life is shaky or insecure, or when things or distractions or relationships or financial situations, when these things are all uncertain and whatever. Intuition, psychic abilities, training those things, using viable methods is one of the top tools that's helped me recover from those things. So that's all I have for you. I'm sending you so much love, and I'll see you next time. Give a like, comment, subscribe, help this video reach more people, help my channel grow. And yeah, you are so appreciated here. I'll see you next time.